Guys, welcome to Battlefield 4 at E3 2013, and I am so excited for this one. My name is Alex Mendez, more commonly known as Golden Boy FTW. This fine gentleman right here, Corey Dunn, as you guys saw earlier. You had a great interview with Carl Magnus.
Awesome.
It looked awesome. I was super jealous sitting there in the sideline. I'm like, it's not fair. But no, but seriously though, I mean, what did we learn, I would say, from the genius behind Battlefield?
We learned so much, and I tried to do the best that I could to ask every question that I could think of that the scene would be asking. I mean, one of the things that, one, spectator mode is usually the question that you're trying to figure out whether or not it's going to be in the game. How are they going to support the competitive gaming scene? Next one would have to be about the suppressing fire. I didn't even have to bring up the fact that they were talking about suppression. That was always the thing that got brought up there that happened in Battlefield 3 was how is it really going to impact, and really what you heard there was from the support class with the LMG. I mean, so you got to saw all those different types of things that were happening throughout that process.
Yeah, I'm really excited for just, you know, the scope of what Battlefield brings to the table here. You know, you can even see the people. I had a chance to actually talk with a couple of the people and kind of like get their opinions on what they felt on the first game that we saw in the background, and they loved it. It was fun. They had the Levolution of the skyscraper falling down, which was awesome. All the players really dug it, and I think that, you know, when you look at the grand scheme of things, the community is going to be very happy with the product that DICE is putting out there.
Well, so what we have here all E3 long is real gameplay coming from 32 versus 32, a 64-man server, 2 commanders that are going to be here. We're going to see a bunch of, this is raw, everything's raw here. None of these players have played the game before.
That's right.
We're going to be finding out exactly how to maneuver throughout the maps. We're probably going to see these guys come back time and time again. I had the chance to kind of play this game for a little bit. I loved it. I was only in the server by myself, and the map that we're going to get a chance to check out is going to be Siege on Shanghai. So we're going to go ahead and hop on here. And again, just go ahead and take a moment here. Let's digest exactly what we see here in the spectator mode. You can see that there's 4 different options that we can kind of scan through. You've got your tabletop view, which is your overview map. Kind of looks like commander mode. And also first-person view, which we're in right now. Third-person view, we can actually hop out of the helicopter and get that third-person view that you get whenever you're playing the game. And then also free cam as well. So again, we're getting all of these different types of elements, and you get the chance to see exactly what we have here. Again, we're looking at the map overall here on Siege of Shanghai, and it's a beautiful map. I think it brings a lot of dimension into the game whenever you're talking about having to navigate a heli through this map.
Well, one of the awesome parts when we had a chance to speak with DICE a little while ago was they were very excited for the elements of land, sea, and air, right? And you're seeing it, you know, come out right here, right in front of your eyes. Basically, they're excited that this urban map, this urban environment implements, you know, sea-based vehicles. You know, also the helicopters we see right here that is pretty much just tearing things apart, in my personal opinion. Alpha 4 and Alpha 11 are just doing work right now. But this is exactly what Battlefield is about. Only in Battlefield you're going to be able to get this kind of experience where you have just this mix of so many things going on at the same time, so many moving parts, yet it's just all awesome carnage, war at its finest. Now, what we are looking here, once again, helicopter shot. This pilot actually doing a pretty standout job maintaining position over at the D area. Now, let's actually break this down, Corey, because, you know, the territories actually have an impact on the commander mode. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're just talking about some of the elements from commander mode is that you can take over B, C, and D, and right now, as you look at it, currently the U.S. have C and D. If you're holding down, we're again just talking about Siege of Shanghai. This does not necessarily mean that it goes across all of their maps. It gives them different types of perks, and those assets are actually directly correlating with each map. So for instance, and actually each position, whenever we're talking about some of these flag points. So for instance, the C flag point actually gives you the capability of having a gunship. The B point will allow you to sit there and have the Tomahawk, and I believe D may stand corrected, but it's a type of scan. I think it's an infantry scan.
And as you can see right in front of you guys, the skyscraper is going to be coming down. Levolution at its finest. And now this is really going to affect gameplay, folks, because this is going to, I guess you can block the vision of the pilots. so you can actually see all this dust coming up.
Right, you see all the debris that happens again. So one of the things that you're going to notice here, again, the C flag, the C point was up on top of the skyscraper. And after knocking out the 4 pillars, they're all pretty well identified. So for those of you that are kind of questioning what exactly it is, there's 4 pillars that are on the outside, kind of harbor side, that you can spot and you can take out pretty quickly there. And that's exactly what we saw there. He got knocked down the skyscraper, and then from that point, that actually shifted the C flag down towards the lower side. And right there, I mean, what we saw throughout the game, just some really great gameplay. Just in general, just watching how things kind of evolve.
Yeah.
I mean, there's different dynamics that are coming to play. I mean, one, the skyscraper could have stayed up there the whole time. Me and my buddies, we would have had our squad.
Yeah.
We'd have been spawning up on top of C. We would have been picking people off. We'd have been having the commander, hey, check out this spot over there. Take that out with the tomahawk, or bring out the gunship since we're holding down C anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, all these different elements. But once you knock out the pillars, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, that's right. You know, again, you know, we saw it at the EA press conference, and it's more than just a buzzword. It is true to form. It is the Levolution. It is the level itself, the map changing before your eyes, evolving. Just the form of combat that you have to engage. That is one of the interesting things, but it doesn't just affect the large scale stuff, right? Like we saw in the press conference, right, that there was a sequence where the players actually destroyed a pillar that allowed the floor to cave in, thus you know, pretty much giving them the advantage to take out a tank.
Over there by the B flag over in Metro area, I mean, you were watching right off the start. If you hadn't had the chance to be able to check out that EA press conference, make sure you head over to youtube.com/Battlefield. There's actually a best moments from that video, and that was one of them. You're able to see one of the players there on the infantry side, our hero, if you will, spotted a tank, and then instantly one of the members there, one of the recon members, tossed it out of C4 over by the pillar that was right there by the street and blew it up and then took it out. It was game over from that point.
But the cool part is that it goes further than that, though. That's the cool part, right? So like it goes beyond just, you know, destroying a floor and the tank coming down. It's, you know, you see the, I think you had mentioned it before, you see the fire extinguisher, shoot a fire extinguisher, smoke screen comes out, right? There was one sequence in the actual showing that they were in the metro station. There was these pillars there, these like, I guess, walls, and you were able to actually shoot through the walls, you know, and that was actually really cool as well, like how everything kind of just changes, you make your own cover. Those are the really cool things that you get only in Battlefield. But one thing that I am excited about seeing with a lot of these players, we saw it in the last game, we saw a lot of air combat, but I want to see some tank action. I love some tanks.
I'm still all about the helis right now, watching how, I mean, I'm not a great pilot at all. But watching the helis kind of navigate through those buildings is quite impressive. I mean, we would get to see some really raw talent, some Matrix type stuff. We're just kind of maneuvering through each of those buildings.
Actually, got to give that guy credit. He managed
he did a pretty good job.
He stayed in the helicopter for quite some time. So kudos to you, Alpha 4.
Alpha 4?
That was his name. It was like Alpha 4 and Alpha 11. They were like, they were the duo.
That gunner was pretty good, too.
Yeah, oh, no, without a doubt.
Laying down some gunfire.
Yeah. I mean, you know, so we haven't seen, we're going to see, as time moves on, you know, some ground combat, infantry-based combat, of course. We're also going to see some sea-based combat, some naval combat. I'm really excited for that.
I still think one of the best things, I always remember in Battlefield 3, I mean, whenever I'm out there, I'm in a helicopter or a jet, I fly out over the sea for a moment, I'm getting shot, and I'm one of the worst ones where I just pop out anyway, and then I realize, why did I jump out? Now I'm in the sea for the next 20 minutes just swimming.
Swimming through.
And then finally I ended up going, man, I'm done with this. And respawn. But no, it's one of the cool things is, I mean, you have the ability to sprint swim.
That's right.
Carl Magnus had mentioned that was it's really probably not the technical term right now, but it's one of the terms that are being used around the office. Sprint swim. Also, you can dive down and swim underneath the water. So if you want to go really recon, kind of special ops, you can kind of get under the water, swim for a little bit. I don't think the determination of how long you can hold your breath for has been figured out. I mean, there's different types that need to be talked about. Of course, this is a pre-alpha version of Battlefield 4.
Just about to say that. This is pre-alpha gameplay that you're seeing here. So, you know, and for it being pre-alpha, I am legitimately blown away by what the DICE team has been able to do.
out.
This isn't you know, like me working here at the booth and promote. No, this is legitimate. Like, as a gamer, I play a lot of the shooters, and I see a lot of games that are oftentimes not as far along in development. When I saw Battlefield 4, I was like, this is beta footage, and no, it's pre-alpha footage.
This is pre-alpha. This is early stages. I mean, we're going to see some great stuff over time and watching this game evolve. Seeing some really great maps. I mean, we saw some of the campaign footage.
Yes.
We'll see a lot of that throughout the breaks as well. And we'll have the chance to be able to talk to some really great, informational, knowledgeable people about
community members as well.
Community members, yeah.
I even saw Dasgro's name on the list. Level Cap is supposed to come through as well. So a couple of awesome community members are going to be coming up, guys who legitimately love everything about Battlefield. They're going to be out here talking about the game, as well as developers as well from DICE and, you know, EA folk, all that good stuff. That is why this is the place to be if you are, you know, just want to tune into some E3 action, right? There's a bunch of places you can watch, but you can't watch Battlefield anywhere else but right here on Battlefield.com.
It's a really, really, really gutsy move that you can take to try to show off a game in this. I mean, it's pre-alpha, early stages, but it's happening right now. I mean, that's 32 versus 32. That's some impressive stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing some even more great action throughout. Yeah. I mean, one of the cool things is, I know that we're doing just exhibition matches from those that are coming around from the event and just coming by, some just players that are just off the street. But really, it's great. That means we're going to see a bunch of different elements. Of course, probably all day today, we're probably going to see the skyscraper fall.
Yeah, everyone
time and time again, because that was my first thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to see how it was done. But honestly, now that I've seen it, well, now I want to go up the elevator. So one of the funny things is so Alex and I, we're over at the EA press conference watching some really great stuff with Frostbite 3 engine and what that has to offer. But we had mentioned, I was like, man, it'd be so cool if there was elevator music. Guess what? There is. So everything that we thought, there's elevator music. So whenever you're going up the elevator, I mean, so we were at the event, so it's hard to hear certain things.
Yeah, that's right.
But going up the elevator, there is elevator music.
That's awesome.
So that's money.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's just those little things that I really appreciate. So without a doubt, though, we're going to see some great action all week long. We're waiting for players to start to come through and play the game. We just had a couple of sessions beforehand. Like I said before, had a chance to speak with a lot of the players that had participated. They really liked it. They enjoyed the fluidity of the controls. Also, a fun fact for anyone out there that is a fan of console gaming like myself, Corey's more of a PC guy. I'm more of a console guy. So that's why we're making a good combination. But they actually have the Xbox One controllers laid out in every single station. So you can actually pick up the Xbox One controller, get a good feel with it. I had a chance to play with the Xbox One controller. I really like it a lot. It feels natural, feels fantastic. Yep. And I think there's a lot of console fans out there that are going to be very happy about that. And another thing to point out as well is that, you know, the Battlefield 4 experience, that 64-player experience, that is also going to be on next-gen consoles. Yep. So a lot of people, you know, I saw some people ask me that on Twitter, and I also saw people talk about it on Reddit. It is going to be on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Yep, 64-man servers running at 60 frames per second. It's going to be that's a lot of frames. It's going to be great. It's getting the chance to be able to check that out. I think a lot of people, though, the PC elitists out there, one of the great things that they do too. I mean, you have to realize, though. I mean, they use a controller of some sort too. Whenever they're flying those helicopters. I mean, you're going from a mouse and keyboard, and right whenever you hop into the helicopter, you switch over to the Xbox controller, the Xbox One controller.
I find it easier to fly.
For those of you out there in the Battlefield community that can fly a helicopter with mouse and keyboard, kudos to you, because I flip helicopters.
Baked. Yeah, you flipped helicopters?
Yeah, I flip helicopters.
That's not good.
I think it's like initial off the start. It's like. The great thing is the people don't have to wait that long for a new helicopter respawn, because I just hop in and it's game over from that point.
Yeah, yeah. And also, just so you guys know, we are showing Siege today. The Siege in Shanghai.
Siege of Shanghai.
That is the map that we are showing today. I know that some people were asking, are there going to be other maps? Not right now. This is
pre-alpha.
It's a pre-alpha. So we're showing this
Sink
first
your
map.
teeth in.
And also, this map is freaking awesome. Okay, I'm not even kidding. Like, it's the map design, in case you guys hadn't seen it, I think we saw some glimpses of it. It is a symmetrical map, right? B is obviously right in the middle. There are 2 bridges that lead into B.
With, you got C.
Excuse me, C, I apologize.
There's 5 points in Conquest.
5 points. And the cool part is that we actually talked about it before, was the commander mode and how the commander mode actually impacts things. So here's the cool part, right? If you spawn in the beginning of the game, you get, your respective territories A and E, but you don't get any benefits for your commander. You only get benefits for B, C, and D. And I really, really like that. I like that little touch. Keeps things going, keeps the action flowing.
Yeah, so we're just taking a moment right now. Again, there's 64 stations right behind me, and there's 2 command points that you have the chance to be able to, well, and the commander stations are insane.
They are.
You got to be able to go out there and check out on the web, probably facebook.com/battlefield, and be able to check out these commander stations. They're insane.
I want it in my home.
Oh, and the fact is, I mean, we're on 64 players. I mean, this is nuts, having a 32 versus 32.
Right.
But let's go ahead and take a quick break. Coming up, we're going to have some more multiplayer gameplay.